because this guy was a coach at a team. All he did was scorekeep. I said, you want to be my coach, Gabriel? And you're one of my coaches, not my scorekeeper. So he had a son, so those are two kids, him and my grandson on the team. They were all 14 years old.
Uh-huh.
And this style of uniform is the one what the Mercury's had in the late 50s, late 40s. Because you see a lot of trim, because they don't have trim now. And these things were made in Los Angeles. And when I saw these uniforms, I thought the guy didn't know what he was doing, because you look at the numbers, and they're European numbers. They're soccer numbers.
Ah, okay.
You look at some of these other numbers, and they're a little bit different. At first I said, oh, that guy sure did a job with the numbers. But those numbers are European numbers. And I just did this to have a team that, it was sort of be like more or less like a travel team. It was, but there was no restrictions. No restrictions on what you did. You want to be on the team, you played. You come and practice, you played. And my motto is, you're on the team, everybody plays every game.
Mm-hmm.
Every game. I don't have 15 guys who sit 15. I have 15 guys to play 15.
So because you were complaining about the coaches, your wife said, well, do something about
Yeah.
it.
But I had already been coaching before. I was sort of semi-retired
Oh.
between my boy and the grandson.
Well, tell me about your previous coaching.
Oh, I used to have a adult baseball team, that Manny's team that you saw.
Yeah, you have a picture here of, there it is. Yeah.
Manny's. This one, that was my team. I made that team.
Uh-huh.
And I always had teams, kids, and I always got games for them, got guys together, and let's play, and we played ball. And I always let every single player play. There's nobody, I think there's only one guy, and one time an oversight that didn't play a game in all the games that we played. And some guy said, Coach, why do you let him play? He's no good. Well, he paid his money, he come to practice so he can play. So I'm not here to, like I always bring this up. All these Little League coaches, if you go to a Little League park and you know who the coach is because of the shirt he's got, it says coach with neon lights, and then his assistant coach is prancing up and down the stands. Tell me if I'm wrong. His coach is prancing up and down the stands, and everyone's talking to everybody else. They think they come to see them, they come to see the kids. And to me, you come to see your kid play, he's going to play.
Mm.
I mean, it's only fair. He's here. Why shouldn't he play?
So, Bob, how many years did you devote to being a coach, a mentor, and are you doing anything in that vein now?
Yes, right now I'm helping Coach Sabrina High School varsity. This is my third year with them. But the attitudes are a heck of a lot different than, we mentioned the attitudes of coaches and I between here and the high schools. Here is because they wanted to be here. The high schools because something to do. Because they don't really have it to play. Just another, if your friends play, so I'll play. They don't really, work at it, let's put it that way.
So it's not a burning desire to be a baseball player?
Maybe one or two, maybe. But the rest, they couldn't care less.
But how do you handle something like that as a coach?
As a coach, I tell them, you know what, this is like school. You miss a class, you miss what I taught yesterday, you're behind. So we'll play, and it's going to show what you missed yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And all this time I tell these kids about college. Hey, like see these guys, 2 years ago I started getting jobs. So everything that I had, there's another picture of bigger guys. This one here, this is one, they're bigger. Some of them are still here.
Mm-hmm.
They start getting jobs. And I tell me, why do you want to get a job? Well, you got to work nights. You can't play ball. You got to work at, say, at Norton at 9 o'clock at night. Get off at 4 in the morning, and you can't play ball. That's a job you're going to be doing 20 years from now. You're going to be sweeping and picking up the garbage or putting parts together. Go to school because everybody's going to pass you. And one year, this team here, prior to this one, I had everybody but one went to college. All 11 went to college except for one.
Very good.
I tell you, go to school, go to school. Just go take anything in school, just go to school.
Mm-hmm.
You never know when you're going to need it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing they can't take away from you.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell them, look ahead. No, this is just a phase that we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be over. Then your real life's going to start.
Yeah, but Bob, being a coach takes so much time.
It does. But I'll tell you, my wife asked me, why do you do this? You say, you're not getting nothing out of it. It costs you money. I says, look, the reason I do this, I'd rather have a kid with me for 2 hours, twice a week or 3 times a week, than him going 2 or 3 times to the 7-Eleven and coming out with a bag of potato chips and running off in a car. I'd rather him be with me. You're taking him away from that and trim this.
Now, in order for your players to go to college, that means they have to graduate from high school.
That's right.
So, what is the record of your players in terms of graduating from high school?
Graduated from high school, well, of this original team, we've already had, let me see, that I know of, because some of these guys I lost contact. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 5 out of this team went. But then 3 or 4 years ago, I had another team, and almost all of them went. 10 of them went.
But they've all graduated from high school?
No.
No.
Oh, yeah, all these guys graduated from high school. Every single one. The reason they're on this team is because I show them how to play ball. There's no politics involved. You come to practice, you play. If you have a bad game, nothing is said. If you have a lousy game, nothing is said. If you had a good game, you might get an attaboy. Because that's what you expect, results. So I keep telling them, hey, you guys do this, you guys got to do this. If you guys think they're living for today, they're not living 3 weeks from now. I keep telling guys, this is just a phase you're going to go through. Pretty soon, nobody's going to care about you.
So you're teaching them discipline, you're teaching them to stay with it, and you're teaching them to take things seriously.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you one thing. Elena, would you tell Frank what my grandson calls me? He's Jacob.
Coaching.
Coaching.
I don't think he knows my name because ever since he's been alive, I've been coaching. So that's what he calls me, coaching. Coach. I don't even know if he knows my name. But he goes out there and all this, I try to instill discipline. I don't kid with him. I'm the coach. To you, I'm Coach Bob Carrasco or Coach. That's the only two names I have. I'm not hey, Albert, hey Shorty, hey Jack, or this. I don't cuss. I don't believe in that. And I just tell you the way it is. I tell you, and that's why well, you could have done it this way. No, I don't come barging at you, and yelling at you. The thing you hear it at a ball game is a kid playing right field, and somebody telling, hey, get your head out of your butt. Don't tell me you don't hear that. Or what game are you watching? And I tell my kids they're daydreaming out there. Say, hey, Albert, move in 2 inches. Now, what's 2 inches going to do at 300 feet? Nothing, right? Well, move right 3 feet. Nothing. But I got his attention. I didn't embarrass him. You don't come in dugout like hanging in his head because coach is shooting him out in front of embarrass him in front of everybody. I tell my kids, you know what? I don't care if you make errors. I don't care if you strike out swinging at the high pitch you can't reach. I'd rather have you swing at a high pitch because you might hit it. If you don't swing, you're not going to hit anything. So I'd rather you try to hit it. And I don't like these coaches wait for a good one. Whatever you see, hit it. That's coach say, wait for a good one, wait for a good one. That's not your pitch. Any pitch is your pitch to me. If you can reach it, you can hit it. And I teach them responsibility. They say, oh, my mother didn't play. It's not your mother's responsibility. You put your glove away. You know where your stuff is. You wash it. So a lot of these guys, their uniform, by the end of 2 weeks, it looks kind of dirty. When I had my teams, even my soccer teams, we bought him bags. And we chipped in for bags, and I should have brought one, a team bag. And they all have their own bag, and they all have their own ball. And they got to take care of their own ball, their own bag. And their suit goes in there, you take it off, you put it in there. And when you get ready, you don't look underneath the bed or outside the yard. You just pick up your bag because it's supposed to be there. That's not your mother's responsibility. It's yours. So I don't kid with them. Well, like I tell Coach, when I am there, I have a break. I only get a 10-minute break, and it's a water break. 10-minute break, I go sit down over there and just look at the cars. And they can do all their BS they want over here. Okay? When I come back, is now is my time. And all that stopped, now it's my time. See, I don't butt in what they're doing here. I go there, sit over there, just talk to the coach, and nothing about whatever's happening over here. I come back, okay guys, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, it's time to, the BS is over.
Uh-huh. Now, how did you develop that method of coaching, Bob?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you about coaching. I was a commissioner of a soccer league. I made a soccer league at one time. I ran a soccer league. And one year I had up 20 teams. And they gave us a seminar at the Disney Hotel. And they told us about coaching. All of these coaches that yell, okay? They scream at you all the time. The coach that screams at you, he'll get you up here. Right there, he'll get you right here. The guy that says, well, good work, Albert, you did good, but you could have done it that way. He's getting up here. And this guy is still getting up here. I keep yelling at this guy's going like this. And this guy, you don't tell anything. Of course, he stays the same because you didn't say anything to him. But it shows you what you do to kids.
Mm-hmm.
You do it as adults. You do it in your house. Maybe the kids get, say he's a butt of all jokes at his house. He goes to school, and the teacher picks on him. He goes to the playground, and the kids pick on him. He comes back to school, there's the teacher again. He goes home, there's the dad. There's a big brother, there's everything. And then you come along, and you're just adding to it. So what are you doing to this guy's self-esteem? I always tell these kids, you know what? You did this, but there's ways to do everything. There's a right way, an easy way, and it's easier, the easy way to do it right, you want to do it over. But do it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mama used to tell us, los huevones trabajan doble. First, to do what you didn't do, and then do what you got to do. Right?
So lazy people work twice as hard,
Right.
is what your mom said.
Yeah, right, yeah. First, because you didn't do it, and second, because you got to do it over.
Now, Bob, you also were not only a ball player, baseball player, and softball player, and a coach, but you were also involved in other sports, and you coach other sports. You mentioned soccer.
I've coached soccer,
Uh-huh.
and I've refereed soccer, and I umpired baseball, all levels up to college.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, soccer I like best to coach because soccer, there's no slack time. And in baseball, I count the coaches, coach, you know what I learned over the years, the less you handle the ball, the more your kids learn. Because you're not going to do anything in the game, right? I'm just doing your job for you, and you're not doing anything. How can you progress if you've got the ball and I'm not handling it? I go say, you know what, why don't you let these kids pitch? They're the ones going to pitch in the game. You're not going to pitch. They don't believe me, but so I said, hands on. So a guy can't throw strikes, but he will throw strikes if you let him. But well, coaches want to, they want to get the hard way and do it right the first time and throw it hard. And because everything's got a base, like everything's got a base. Everything's got to start the base. And also, well, I don't know if I told you that I was also retired National Guardsman. I put 28 years.
I had no idea that you were in the service. Tell me about that.
I was in the National Guard for 28 years. I was a senior in high school, and some guy told me, hey, man, you want to make $3 a night? Just join the Guard. They pay you $3 every Monday. Wow. Well, so I joined the Guard in January of 1954 to get my $3. And the pay stayed like that for a long time. And then I finally, I had to quit because I had back surgery. And I couldn't pick up anything, so I had to retire from the Guard.
Uh-huh.
I put in 28 years in the National Guard. I also retired from the post office about 5 years ago. I put in 49 years, 4 months
With the post office?
at the post office. Now I can't even wake up in the morning. All my time at the post office was at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5, 6. Never the least, it's always early.
Uh-huh. So how old were you when you started with the post office?
I think just from 22.
22? You were very young then.
Yeah, well, pretty young, yeah. But I would have started at 20, but I wanted to be real cool because they gave the test for a carrier, and I took it and I passed it. Then they gave the test for the clerk, and I passed it. And so then they canceled the first one out because you couldn't do both. So I had to wait for the next register to come out. So in fact, I would have probably been a letter carrier if I hadn't taken it a second time. But you couldn't do both. Now they give you a choice. What do you want to be?
And how was it working for the post office for 49 years?
Well, enjoyable because I'm not going to say. I feel like every time that I go is for something positive. Even when I go to a seminar or anything, I was given some advice that even the dumbest person knows something you don't know. So I always go to hear, even though I know what it's. Maybe I'll pick up something from him. Maybe I'll get an idea from there. Always listen to what they're saying. You can't put anybody down because you don't know everything. You think you might know everything, but you don't. But the guard, I mean, it wasn't that hard. I mean, it was hard. Same thing as teaching school, except you got little commands, a little bit more punishment.
And your unit was never sent overseas, or?
No, the only unit, I think, we only had 3 things that we were sent. We got sent to Watts, the first riot.
That was 64?
69, I believe.
69?
69. The first riot, I was there. Then we had a flood in Upland. And then we had a fire at Mount Baldy. And the first one, it was in August, and it was just like a midnight when we got there. It was just like a carnival. Everybody's out there. It was like a big, gigantic party. People, starting fires, running around, drinking in the streets, hollering, everything, big party. The fire was at up here, and that's the first time they told me to drive a truck. I've never driven a truck. They told me, move this truck up there. I don't even know how to drive it. So I moved the truck up the hill. You can only go so far up those hills. There's no more roads. Here's my first time at track, driving a big truck and having it back up down a hill. Man, I tell you, I had my feet in my throat. I was going to go off the hill. And the flood, it was a dam that was going to break up in Upland. And they came and they declared martial law. So there wouldn't be, if you were in there, you were subject to arrest. You couldn't go in that oil. So they put guardsmen on, like every middle of the block with guardsmen. And you could only go with a cop or a guardsman. And they told us in one of those nights, hey, the dam's about ready to break. And we were up about halfway up the hill. So what do you do? So they tell us, well, just run like hell. I mean, how are you going to run downhill? The water's going to, you can't run uphill. You're going to run with the water. They give us hamburgers to eat. I give you a hamburger and it's ready cats and dogs.
Yeah. So it was kind of a, you kind of left out. You didn't go overseas. You worked with disasters or emergencies that happened locally.
Yeah,
and,
we were fortunate.
Yeah, you were very, very fortunate, especially after 28 years.
Yeah.
And you were with the post office for 49 years.
Yeah.
And like you said, that was a good duty. You enjoyed being working for the post office.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you, the guys that work says, Bob, I sit at the case room. It's got 79 holes here. I've got 49. Some more over this side. How can you stand in being here? So you know what? I play games. I'm playing tic-tac-toe right now. The